When you were 18, you moved from England to San Diego.
To the Bay Area first.
And it was the Bay Area, then to San Diego. What did you learn from, like, shifting your whole life to a different country?
Oh my goodness, dude. So much. So freaking much. It was probably the gnarliest time in my life.
You described it as, quote, the hardest time in my life.
It was pretty tough, yeah, because you feel like such an outsider.
Yeah.
Like, there's Bay Area slang, right?
Yeah.
So I went into like my first, I joined like the business club at like community college that I was at. And I went into the meeting and I was like trying to meet people and stuff. And I was listening to these two guys have a conversation. And I had genuinely, they were speaking English, but I had no idea what they just said. Like they had an entire conversation, sentences going back and forth, and I couldn't understand a word. It was genuinely like they were speaking Spanish, French, or something else.
That's funny.
And I was like, what is going on? And so I said to them, I was like, all right, not to be funny, guys, from the UK, obviously, as you can tell, what did you just say? Because I have no idea what you just said. And they were like, oh, there's a party going on later that we're going to go to. And I was like, what? I was like, I thought you were talking about some homework for another class next week. And he was like, yeah, no. And so that was like kind of the epitome for me of like how outsider I felt. I couldn't even understand what people were saying. And so, yeah, I spent probably the first 6 to 8 months of being in the US just trying to understand culture. You know, it's like such a massive culture shock, trying to understand how people live, why people value certain things different ways, trying to find common ground with people when you have literally zero. I didn't even go to high school here, so I can't identify with that high school experience even. And so that's what I spent the first 6 to 8 months doing. But I'm proud of myself because it was really tough, and I felt extremely lonely because you just don't have anybody you can talk to about it. And so I was proud of myself, though. I never let up. You know, I never like gave up and was like, I can't make friendships here. It's so hard. You know, I continued to just keep trying to identify with people, keep trying to find the common ground, common interests. And yeah, over time I met friends. I had a mentor at that time that I also met through going to a Chamber of Commerce business event where I just networked with people. That
probably made your social skills a lot better.
Yeah, I always kind of regarded myself as having okay social skills. Growing up, I had a lot of opportunities to speak to family, friends and stuff that were not my age, so I was used to identifying with people that were older than me. But it 100% gave me an opportunity to, you know, really network with people here in the US. And I think one of the blessings was I was going to these networking events, which were for businesses to talk to businesses and get referrals, essentially. But I had no agenda, right? I had no business. I had nothing that I was trying to sell. Like I was genuinely just trying to learn, right? And I was just trying to like understand what people were doing. And so I would speak to people. I would be really interested in them. And it allowed them to remember me because they hadn't had that interaction at an event like that. Like no one was interested in what they were, how their kids were doing. Like they were just interested in what their business was and how could they utilize their business to help them out, or if they couldn't, then move on to the next, you know. So it gave me an opportunity to really meet with some awesome people.